This video is an early thank you for helping me get to the 200 subscriber milestone. So if you like the style of content and you haven't already subscribed, then, you should. Hey, do you like games? Do you like survival games? Do you like foraging for scraps like an animal? Do you like VR? Do you like guns? Do you like fearing for your life? Do you like eating? Do you like eating in VR? Do you like post-apocalyptic? Do you like great atmosphere? Do you like pina coladas? Do you like shadow monsters? Do you like me? I said, do you like in-game currency? Then boy, oh boy, do I have the perfect game for you. I am confident that I've found the most immersive VR survival game of 2022. So confident, in fact, that I'm making a review-ish video on the channel where I'd much rather just play the damn game instead of sit here and talk about it. The game in question is called Into the Radius. Actually, Into the Radius came out in 2020, so it's really not— Shut the hell up. I'm usually pretty hesitant about buying new VR games. I love VR, but way too often I see a really good trailer for a new game, only to receive a half-assed, barely polished trash pile of a VR title. And that fucking sucks. But for every 15 bad VR games, there comes one that stands out from the rest. One that feels like a work of passion instead of a cash grab. One that truly aims at placing the player in the shoes of the characters. I'll be honest, the current trailer for Into the Radius on Steam is nothing special. I wasn't really expecting anything groundbreaking. I needed a new game and it was on sale for a pretty generous price. And the second I loaded in for the first time, I knew I was in for something amazing, something daring and unforgiving. The world around me was falling apart, and it's up to me to get to the bottom of it. 45 measly seconds into the game, and I was already experiencing the most riveting VR gameplay of my entire life. And it went like this. Hello? Okay, so the story of Into the Radius goes something like this. It's a nice day in Russia and everyone is minding their own damn business until, seemingly out of nowhere, this big-ass hole appears in the sky. I should probably clarify that when I say big-ass hole, I mean like a big-ass space hole, not like— yeah. And when I say this hole is big, I mean it's quite large. Huge even. So big in fact that your mom might be able to fit in it a little bit. Anyway, this strange anomaly appears in the sky and fucks everything up. Now obviously the human race isn't the go ahead and destroy our planet type. So along comes this government organization whose name I can't remember because I'm too lazy to look it up. And they basically say, hey bestie, you know that giant abyss of death that's causing a bunch of people to die and disappear? Well, you should totally go explore the land around it. It'll be so worth it, trust me. And you're just like, okay, fair. With the promise of balanced nutrition and adventure, you cozy on up in your trash pit and gain experience and levels by completing missions. Usually the missions are pretty simple. Go out, get some sort of material like an artifact or a piece of data, bring it back, get bread. Easy. There are also some little story elements that you can find around the map. Hey, I wonder what's on this tape.
I'm over here stroking my dick. I got lotion on my dick right now. I'm just stroking my shit. I'm horny as fuck, man. I'm a freak, man.
Oh yeah, and there's this girl who talks to you telepathically. That's important, I guess. But see, while that's great and all, let's talk about what you really want to know about. The immersion. This game is easily one of the most immersive survival experiences I've ever had. The game developers really made the most out of VR in my opinion. I remember the first time loading into the unforgiving world of Into the Radius. The air is cold, ash rains down from a sunless sky, dead and withered bodies scattered against the barren wasteland, white people, a dark ominous entity lingers in the distance, almost taunting you with its fiery glow, and hey, look at this thing! Scrounging for food, weapons, and ammo is actually pretty challenging in this game. If you want to get the most out of a supply run, you have to check every cabinet of every room of every building that you have enough time to search, all while fighting off a variety of terrifying enemies. Yo, what the hell is— And this isn't like Saints and Sinners where you'll just find boxes of ammo, meds, and food all over the place. It's possible that you can clear a room and leave having only found one bullet. Literally, one singular pistol bullet. By the time your backpack starts getting heavy, you feel like you've earned it. You know how in Saints and Sinners, the worst thing that can happen to your gun is it breaks or it jams occasionally? And to reload, all you do is grab the little bullet thingy and then poof, there's a loaded magazine? Well, welcome to the modern era, son. You gotta put in work now. You'll find that if you're trying to fight with a gun that isn't clean, it jams almost constantly. And yeah, it's really annoying, but it also encourages you to maintain your weapons like a good Russian. When I say that you have to maintain your weapons, I don't just mean you press a repair button and then boom, you're all good. Like, no, you actually have to clean your weapons manually. Spray them down, brush off the nastiness, clean the barrel, blah, 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 blah. The nice thing is that cleaning your guns isn't something you have to do all the time. So when the time comes, it usually holds its novelty pretty well. But that's just my opinion, and I have less than 500K, so are you really gonna listen to me? It is entirely your responsibility to make sure that any extra magazines you're carrying are loaded with bullets. Gone are the days where you can just magically pull out a fully loaded clip so long as you have the ammo. Nope, now you actually have to load them yourself. Literally, you have to load each individual magazine bullet by bullet if you want to be able to use your guns. Luckily, you can somewhat speed load your mags if you hold them up to an ammo box. I'd say that loading individual bullets is better for when you find spare ammo in drawers or on tables because, you know, every office just has 9mm rounds lying around freely. Hashtag realism, am I right? I know that this type of ammo system might seem like a bit of a hassle, but I personally really appreciate it. As annoying as it might be having to spend 5 minutes restocking ammunition every time I go on a mission, I think the benefits are also noticeable. Since bullets are their own entity, you can actually consolidate your ammo, which is nice for organizational purposes. It also makes me want to be more sparing with my shots. Into the Radius is a game where you run around and kill dark people. Oh, yo! As much as it pains me to say it, the combat in this game is... it's not bad, like, it's definitely not bad, but I would say that it lacks a few things. Most of the encounters you'll have that require you to use lethal force are really just you dodging and weaving attacks from a slow enemy until you can land a kill shot. Now don't get me wrong, these guys are pretty fucking terrifying. Like, I genuinely feel uneasy when I can't see because I'm scared I'm gonna get charged by a... But then there's just these guys with whole ass guns. Like what? I do think the combat can be a bit more dynamic. Once you've fought the enemies enough times, you kind of just get used to it. If any devs are watching this, I doubt they are, but if you are, can we please get some new enemies? Hey, maybe even a boss fight or two, just to keep things fresh, I don't know. I just think it's kind of odd how we have this really intuitive weapon system, but we don't have a combat system to match it with. Again, I don't think the combat is bad, there's just so much more that it could be. Missions in Into the Radius are repetitive. I'll just come right out and say it. It's nice to be able to explore different sections of the world with a purpose, and obviously the missions tie into the storyline, but it's pretty much the exact same thing every single time. Go out, find some data or an artifact of some kind, kill any enemies in the way, come back, drop the thingy in the thingy, get paid. That's it. After doing a few missions in one setting, the novelty wears off pretty quickly. And the sad thing is that the second you don't want to do the missions, you don't want to keep playing because the missions are the only incentive you have to actually go out and do shit. I can't pretend like the missions are painfully boring or anything like that. I like searching around for whatever needs collecting. I like the uncertainty of what's inside the buildings. I like discovering extra loot I wouldn't have found if I wasn't looking for something else. But when you finally get into the flow of things, it becomes too routine. One of the most important elements of games like this is keeping the player guessing what's going to happen next. Uncertainty makes for better gameplay. This is a horror game. If you haven't already pieced that together from the visuals on screen, you certainly will the second you hear the actual game. When it comes to giving the landscape an eerie and unsettling vibe, the devs absolutely nailed it. I can't tell you how many times I've been wandering around and I've had to look over my shoulder because I heard something strange. But also, the game is just terrifying in general. It doesn't matter how used you get to fighting these guys. Like I said before, they're simply horrifying. This guy has a halo. He ain't no angel, honey. I'm gonna take a moment now to present all you current Into the Radius players with a bit of a hot take. The land is dead, right? It's supposed to be. That's the kind of world we're told our character lives in. Okay, fine. Personally though, I think the world feels a little too dead. In the game, you're the sole survivor. That comes with its pros and cons. Being the only capable one of carrying out missions greatly raises the stakes, and it makes it seem like much more of a daunting task. You alone must single-handedly face off against deadly creatures to solve the mystery of the Radius. Maybe even fix it. It's you against the world. Nothing more, nothing less. But here's the thing. As cool as that sounds, it comes with a few sacrifices that hinder this game from reaching its full potential. Imagine if you could hear other survivors engaging in gunfights in the background. What if you could make allies or enemies with NPCs? What if certain NPCs could pay you in exchange for favors? Find a lost friend, kill a member of an enemy faction, trade food for meds, etc. What if certain monsters disliked or liked other monsters? It would bring so much more life into the game. It would also completely change the way that you interact with the environment. You can still be the only one collecting data for whoever these weird people are. You can still be the only one who can communicate with Katya. You can be the special one without being the only one. You know what I mean? I wouldn't exactly call Into the Radius an easy game. And to be completely honest, I realize that the level of effort it asks of the players is not for everyone. I think it's important to know before buying this game that in order to get the full experience, you have to take things slow. As much as you might want to just hop in and run into town guns blazing, the game is quite literally designed to make sure that you can't do that. Like, I just want to fucking spaz 12 and you're telling me I actually have to play the game? The fuck? Look, alright, the only reason I think it's worth putting up with all the tedious elements of the game is because once you actually reach a decent level, it feels amazing. There's really no other way to put it. I mean, by the time you're sprinting into town with a gas mask and a PPSH, you feel like you've earned it. Okay, that's my opinion on Into the Radius. Before I end the video, I want to give a quick shout out to NordVPN. Not because they sponsor me or anything, but because they somehow managed to obnoxiously be in every fucking video I watch nowadays. Anyway, hey, NordVPN, let's get a sponsorship going, you know, feel me? You know what I'm saying? Huh? Yeah, okay. Anyway, thanks again for helping me get to 200 subscribers, big thank and whatnot. And if you haven't already subscribed, then you're definitely missing out because I post a new video every... My upload schedule sucks. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.